Hey, 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 you legends. Welcome to episode 36 of Love is a Battlefield, the domestic violence podcast. My name is Tilly Moore, and this is promising to be a quick episode called What is Weaponized Incompetence? Now, yes, I've probably discussed this randomly in random spots, but I thought, let's do an episode. Actually, the episode was going to be a whole other topic, but I'm running late. Literally, it is 13 minutes to 1 a.m. I usually drop the episode at 1 a.m. on a Friday, Australian time, and it's like 13 minutes to go before the time I usually drop it. So, and I'm really tired. I want to go to bed. But I also thought last week was like the longest episode in the world, and so was the week before. So it's like you guys just need a break. You just need some time off. Quick episode, whatever. She'll be sweet. I probably sound tired, but who cares? Who gives? Be yourself, be real, be everything that you are. And that's all I want to say on that one. My brain just stopped. It went sentencing, words. Words are coming out, words are flowing. 0 words left. All right, so weaponizing incompetence. I mean, you probably know what that is, but just in case you don't, it's basically where men, men, uh, will say that they can't or imply that they can't do something, like they actually can't do it. They don't have the skills to do it. Maybe they are saying their arms fell off or something. They didn't, but like they don't have the skills. They can't do that. Oh, I can't do that as good as you. So they will pretend they are incompetent in order to get out of doing something. And that's why it's called weaponized. So they're pretending, so it's fake incompetence. It's not someone with a genuine issue, a genuine mobility issue or skill issue. Like they are faking that they are incompetent. And so that's why it's called weaponized, because they're using it as a weapon against women to get the woman to be their slave, to get the woman to serve them and do things for them. It is absolutely a form of manipulation. And yes, while they're not smashing their fist into your head in a violent act, it is still it's bordering on domestic violence. It could be a part of a horrible relationship with a toxic person. It could just be part of a horrible relationship with a misogynist, someone who's very much raised by the patriarchy and doesn't like women. It can just be part of a toxic relationship. It can be part of a domestic violence relationship, but it is not on. It's not right. And we used to put up with it. In fact, I have probably shared once before that an ex, not that really, really bad one that went to prison, but another one that had been violent at one stage and not very nice. They actually made a joke about it while I was living with them. They just said, "Oh, we just do intentionally do things crap so that you'll do it." And at the time, I was so brainwashed by patriarchy, so internalized misogyny, plus misogynist, I should say. I was just so yeah, brainwashed by all of that, and I just laughed, like, I thought it was funny. What a dick. Sorry, I was such an idiot. Like, but that was back then when everyone like, that was just like, "Oh, yes, because 'cause I'm a woman and you serve a man if you want the man to be with you." And, yeah, he would say, "Well, yeah, we just pretend that we can't do that and that you do it better so that you'll do it." And I just went, "Oh, that's funny." Like, he actually so that just goes to show they actually consciously know what they're doing. I thought they didn't. When I first heard the term, I was like, "Oh, yeah," like he knew. But no, they actually all know. They intentionally, consciously fake that they can't do things or intentionally do it wrong. And he actually said that time. He said, "Oh, we just like stuff it up on purpose." And we like if we don't want to vacuum or something, we just won't vacuum like under furniture or the corners. We'll just do like a really crappy job in the middle of the room. And then they just know the woman's going to go, "Oh, I'll just do it myself." Literally, they say they intentionally do a poor job. So is that not like, and at the time I just laughed. Like, can you believe that? Because I was, yeah, in that way of thinking. And now I'm like a feminist, which obviously going through severe like DV pushed me in that direction. But then I feel like social media, like I feel like with TikTok and other social media, and now with the world, like we're all connected. If you wanted to talk to someone from another country when I was growing up, you had to call on a toll number, like a number that was so expensive. Like if you're an Australian, you wanted to call like the UK or something, or America, you had to pay like a connection fee, and then every so many seconds it was like so much money, and it would have this special beep. Like, do you remember that? Like, whatever country you're in, you picked up the phone and it went beep, 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 beep. Also, it made some noise where this is a toll call. Like, this is expensive. So people who had relatives overseas would pay so much money just to have one quick call with them. So back then, our countries weren't connected, our ideas, we weren't sharing things. Now, with social media and TikTok and everything, we're all sharing things, we're educating each other. A lot of us are seeing the universal experience of being a woman in so many countries, like how bad domestic violence is and how bad misogyny and values towards women and patriarchy is, and that it's not just in our own little area, our own street where we live in the world. It's in our whole country, in other countries all over the world, and how we can unite and educate each other. And now here I am, feminist. And if a man said that to me now and I was in a relationship with him, wouldn't go down so well. But I would hope that in 2024, maybe those men had been on social media as well and learned something. That's why we've just got to keep flooding social media with not I'm like not say flood with feminist content, but yeah, flood with feminist content just to teach and educate men and women about, hey, this is how our experience has been for generations and generations, for like all time. How about we just try and be a bit fairer, and women aren't slaves. Like, bitch, I'll be your slave if I don't have to work. Like, I hate work. It sounds so old patriarchal, misogyny personally of me to say that, but literally my whole life I've thought like, oh, I'll be a traditional wife. I will clean the house, I will go grocery shopping, I will do all things and not work. Gladly not work. I don't like work. I'd rather not. But I was a single mum. So I had to do it all. I had to work and raise kids. And as you know, if you have kids, you're at work, you feel guilty for being at work because you should be with the kids. But then when you're at home with the kids, you feel guilty because you should be at work having a career. And what are you doing? You're lazy. You should be like, you just can't win. So I worked part time when they were little, like only a couple of days a week when they were really little and stuff like that. But yeah. So, but yep, always. And then obviously increased how much I worked after that. But always worked and did the household stuff and did everything. But even when I was in relationships with men, I was still doing everything and paying 50% of all bills and everything. So, and while they were earning more just for having a penis. Like, don't even start me. I've gone off on a tangent, haven't I? No, it's giving weaponized incompetence. So we're kind of around there. Yeah, and they were getting paid more, because male-dominated industries. And then people are like, oh, go in that male-dominated industry. Oh, yeah, and be like bullied and told you're not as good as the men, even though you're like 3 times as good because you're told that you're not on par with probably the worst man in the group unless you're like 7 times better than him. Like, that's the sexism. And then men, I've always obviously whinged about this before. Men come into nursing and they get treated like royalty, like kings. Red carpets rolled out, they're straight into a promotion and they get the best patient loads every shift. It is this unconscious bias, like this unconscious internalized misogyny women all have. It's this unconscious, I've realized it's like a fear of men. Like, we allocate, and I've been guilty of it too. Like when I'm in charge and I'm allocating the patients to the men, I try and be fair and give men and women, and this is back before I was like an educated feminist. I wasn't a feminist at all. So I didn't even know. I didn't even know what really feminism really was like. So when I was in charge and allocating patients to staff, I would try and be fair and give the men similar workloads to women, but there'd always be this fear in my belly. Like, okay, belly, that was that sounds weird, like it's actually in a spot of your body. But anyway, like this like little fear, this little nagging thing that, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Sorry. Like every sentence, I just get to this point and my brain just goes, no, powering down. Sorry. And I'm trying to stay on, I'm trying to keep my brain on the freaking subject and it just keeps dropping out. It's like a really bad internet connection. It's just like dropping out. So I'm sorry. Okay, let's try. Okay, reset. I'm back. I'm back. So anyway, yeah, I had this like little fear. If I gave the men patients they didn't want or high workload, because you look through and you go, oh, that patient, you've got to be really fair and distribute patients evenly. And you'd always know when someone allocated a heavy workload to a specific nurse and you knew what they were kind of saying by that. So like you had to give the men kind of lightish loads, but still equal and fair because you know that they could get aggressive. Literally, I had this underlying fear, and I believe that women and men, like men, want approval of other men. So they try and like buddy, buddy, hey mate, how you going? Oh yeah, I'll give you a good patient load. It's called a patient load, by the way, when you get allocated your patients for the shift. And women have this like internalized misogyny along with a like underlying fear, like if I piss off the men they could get aggressive. Men have more power. We know unconscious, like subconscious, not conscious. We know subconsciously that men have more power than us, and if we piss off a man in the workplace and he goes to the boss and says, she allocated these patients to me, gave me too much work to do, she's a bitch. You know the bosses are going to believe a man over a woman. You just know that. You know men carry more power. So not only do they carry more power, and if you upset them, they could like get you in bad books with the bosses because people listen to men. And also that whole, oh, they could get aggressive. And if they start going, why'd you do this? And like people will not only like respond to that aggression, like, got to do what they want, but they'll also listen to their words and say, oh, she pissed him off. She's not very nice. It's literally, we know men carry the power. And I know it's this unconscious bias. It's this unconscious internalized misogyny. It's this unconscious like sexism that we all have where we're too scared to piss off men. So in nursing, men get treated really good because they have the power. It's just the world, the way it is. And there could be someone out there going, look, I'm a nurse. I allocate patients to staff. And no, but think about it. Really think like deep, go unconscious and really think about it. And you just know why you would be too scared to dump a whole heavy patient load on one of the male staff frequently because like you know you could cop it. Whereas a woman, like we're always told at work, so that's a heavy load, like you're like deal with it. Like you're a nurse, that's what you're here for. If I say to a man at work, you're a nurse, that's what you're here for, oh my goodness, because there was this one man that I worked with that just was very lazy and got away with doing like nothing. And no one would stand up to that. One nurse did. She actually refused to work with him in this dangerous kind of space because he also didn't help in emergency situations, to which I was a witness one time. Anyway, yeah, so that was good that she refused to put herself at risk because of the way this staff member worked. But yeah, this person just didn't do stuff, but you couldn't stand up. Like once I said to a colleague, uh, oh, everyone knows he's lazy. And they bit my head off. Only I've now realized that colleague was being brainwashed slash gaslit slash manipulated by my perpetrator. Because at that stage, I'd left my perpetrator, but I hadn't told anyone. So he'd started going around saying, Natalie's really aggressive. She's addicted to drugs. She's like, and he was listing all the symptoms that I'd told him of psychosis. And he was trying to like convince my colleagues I had psychosis. Great times. That was fun. What an idiot. Anyway, so they had been manipulated. So that's what I think that's why they bit my head off, like because they were saying things that I found out was he was saying on repeat to everyone. So it wasn't actually that, but it kind of was like that was the trigger because I said, oh, he's lazy. And I wanted us to all be able to be more open about saying, hey, he's lazy. And why don't we ever question that this person comes to work and they literally do, like, they give about 10%, maybe 10 to 20% when the female nurse is giving 100%. And he'll always get the longest holiday right over the Christmas New Year's period. All the women are told, no, you can't have a holiday then. And he was told, yep, every year you can have that, because, and you saw like the bosses just quiver, go, yeah, because he's male. They're like, yep, I'll let you. And he's like, I will get this holiday. I'm going whether you like it or not. And that is what's happening. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, I asked like 2 years ahead, 1 year ahead. I kept asking, and they're like I'd had one early in my career, but then like I asked for another year, and they're just like, nope. And I'm like, I worked last Christmas Day, everything, like, I'm putting in early, I'm putting in straight after Christmas. They're like, come back. And I kept asking, and they're like, no. And then he got his holiday as usual. And I was like, why? And they're like, oh, he always gets it. Why? And I knew there was this fear, this unconscious fear of this man. And so that's the sexism in the workplace. Anyway, I have gone on a tangent there, but weaponized incompetence. He acts like he can't do stuff. And then he gets away with it, like, I'm a man, that's what women should do. Like, just do your job that you get paid for, be fair. And it actually got to a point at work where it was kind of like really upsetting some people, not me, but that chick acted like I was going on about it a lot, but she had been like preconditioned by like a psychopath, so whatever. But like, you just saw people like getting upset at him, and they all just knew there's nothing they could do, that like he didn't have to work as hard as the women, and the women would constantly be criticized. But you did see some people start to bite his head off. I watched a few nurses start to go, well, why didn't you do this? And he'd go, because I didn't want to. And they're like, well, and like calling him out. And then he's just like, just sitting there like, what you gonna do about it? But still calling him out. I did see nurses start to do that. So yeah, but things, I don't think they'll change, because he is male. If he was female, there is no way. Imagine if that man was female. Oh, I just wish you could all see, like, witness what I witnessed in this situation. Anyway, I've got to stop talking about that and get back to weaponizing competence. But that's kind of on the same theme of, you know, that's just a workplace kind of thing about it. But yeah, in relationships. So do you know men can use a washing machine? They can use everything in a kitchen. Do you know they are grown adults? This is like things like TikTok taught me. They're a grown adult. They can pay bills. They can, if their car is, anything is wrong with their car, they can fix it. They got a hobby or a specific interest, they can work on that all day. They want to do a project, they want to do a little renovation, a little bit of fun, a little bit of like renos in the house or something. They can do it really well. They can measure things, cut things precisely, do all the math, do things nice and perfect. You think they can't press the on button on a washing machine? You think they can't hang clothes on a line? You think they can't put clothes away? They couldn't possibly know which kid's undies are which and whose top is what. They have no interest in learning whose undies are which and whose top is what. They have no interest in helping. Not helping. We've got to stop using that word. When men do chores in their own house as adults that look after themselves and or their own offspring, when they are doing chores as an adult in their house, they are not helping. We have, like, if you go to say helping, stop yourself. And we're just not going to say helping anymore. Because I used to say that. I used to say, oh, could you help and do that? Because in my head, I was raised, and the way I was raised was that laundry is all the women's job, kitchen's all the women's job, cleaning the whole house is the women's job. And yet I had to pay 50% of all the bills. And he earned more than me because I did all of those things for him. I took care of all the house and everything. So he was free to go wherever, whenever. So he could work full time. He could also work in a male dominated industry and earn double what I earned. But any extra money he got over the 50% of everything we had to pay, like, I'm scrounging, like working my butt off to earn, 50% of everything. And he's earning heaps. So any extra money he got was his own pocket money for his own toys, cars, boats, planes, trains, automobiles, whatever he wanted. It was his money because he earned it. And yet, how did he earn that? By me being at home doing those chores on the day I wasn't at work, So weaponized incompetence is just men lying. It's a form of deception, form of manipulation to get women to serve them. And I don't know if using the word slaves is offensive because, like, I tried not to use that word because of the historical significance of the word slaves. So maybe I should use the word servant. So, like, getting the woman to serve you. And do you realize by you doing all the chores at home, they don't have to be home much. They can be out playing with their car. You know, the man chores around house. I don't know if you were raised like this, but I was raised that the man chores are like repairs of stuff, car, uh, the lawn. That's it. Oh, and pool. Lawn, if you have a pool, it's the pool. If you have a lawn, it's like, cutting the grass, mowing, whatever you want to call it. And basically just the lawn. And any repairs, which it's very rare there's repairs. Like, oh, light bulb. I'll get a new light bulb. Wow, what a man. And so being a single mum, and at one stage I had a house that had a pool, two lawns. It was, don't worry, I'm not rich. It was very small. They were just the back lawn and the front lawn. It was in a very, 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 very lower socioeconomic, dodgy suburb, and that's why I could afford to get a mortgage on that. But I don't have that anymore. Yeah, so I had to do the pool. I was working nearly full time, like high part time hours, but like for a nurse, it was, you know, because it was shift work, it was significant. Uh, and I was doing all the pool care, all the lawn, all the gardening. Yeah, because I had gardens as well, everything, all the repairs in the house, like everything, and renovations myself. Like I was doing all this stuff, right? And I just got this feeling in my chest, like, no, no, no. Because I've told you this before, how he would encourage me to do certain renovations, insist that he helped get me to buy everything, like everything down to the nail, down to everything, like even if he had stuff, like I couldn't use it or borrow it. Not that he had much stuff anyway, but yeah. So I had to pay for everything and everything, but he would still be, which of course, I had to, it was my house, but he would still be like, "I'll help," like with the manual labor, and I was, and he would try and convince me, "Oh, no, no, it's okay, I'm going to help." And I'd be like, "No, I don't want you to hold this against me in the future. Like, you don't have to help. I'll do it myself. I'll get people to help me with that part that I can't do myself." And he's like, "No, no, I'm going to help you with this. I really want to. Like, I really want to. I'm not ever going to say you owe me back." And a good narcissist, when it suited him, he flipped the script and said, "Well, tradies get paid X per hour, and I helped for X amount of hours on that one project." And these were like little minor things. Like there was nothing, no extra rooms being built or bathroom or kitchen renos, like these are like little niggly things. And he would also lie to his parents that he was helping me do all these renos, and so he would borrow tools from them that he wasn't even using at my house, but like imply that he was using tools at my house, like. And I'd be like, "Why is that tool at my house?" Like, "Send it back to your parents." And he'd just lie and go, "Oh no, not yet, not yet," because he's trying to imply that he's like such a helpful, good son, like he's helping her with all these things around her, like her house, and it's not even his house. Like, what a giving person. And so he would just like borrow things from their place I didn't even need and like store them at my house so he could like manipulate them that he was doing all these things. But really, he did not help much at all. Like, there was just this one little thing. Like, he helped and he really wanted to and he begged to. So I'm like, okay, but I owe you nothing. And if you want to do it, do it in your own time. Like, like whenever you want to do it. Like, I'm not going to press you or anything. And he was really keen, like, "No, no, it'd be fun. It'll be fun. And, you're buying all the stuff. So all I have to do is come and hang out and do it." And so, yeah. And of course, he flipped the script that, tradies get paid this and this is how many hours. And therefore, you owe me. And he came up with this figure of like, I don't know, that tens of thousands or something, or thousands of dollars or something. And it was like, you're a joke. And he was trying to like steal half my house. He tried to, um, like be there a lot at my house, hoping that he could somehow have evidence to convince someone that he lived there so he could. I think he wanted to move in so that he could steal half my house, but that was never going to happen. Like, no. because we are never getting back together. Ever. Hey! A bit of Taylor T. Swift there. So anyway, to wrap it up, because this was going to be a short episode, and I promise you it is, weaponized incompetence. So if there's any men or any women, if you have friends, like if you're not married or whatever, because you've gone through this horrible domestic violence but you've got friends who are married, ask them tell me, what do you do? What does he do? Because I feel like a lot of people who are married got married like a while ago before we were all like sort of opened our eyes to how things are. And I think the women like are still like serving the men and doing all the things plus working and bringing home the money, and the men get more money because the woman does all the chores at home, so they don't have to do that at home, so they have more time to make more money, and they make more money because of the pay gap, so they just are buying themselves boats and four-wheel drives, and the woman has like the tiny little small hatchback car, and the man has this big expensive full drive or Jeep or whatever's like fancy car and wherever you live, and they're going fishing and boating and doing all this stuff with all their money that they earned, so they have a right to spend it. Yet the woman doesn't earn as much because she has to be at home cleaning every minute she's not at work, so she has to work part-time so she has time to clean and look after the kids and do all that stuff. And the pay gap means she earns less as well and has probably a worse job too, because it's usually serving people. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah. And then men say, well, why don't women get into male industries? And then there's like stuff on TikTok and memes about how like women can't get into male industries because men won't let them into male industries, or they make it really hard, or once they're in, they bully them and say, well, you're not good enough. And yeah, so it just keeps going on. But weaponized incompetence, yeah, it's basically where someone pretends they can't do something, or they do it and they intentionally don't do it well. So just say, okay, last example. If you have a husband or someone you know has one of those husband things, boyfriends, and you get them, like they go to do a chore, like they vacuum and they don't do it properly. They can do it properly. They're like, there's like YouTube videos. There's like a functioning adult brain. Get them to do it again and say, do the corners, like show them. Some aren't bright, granted. Please do it under the couch. Please do the corners. Please do it properly. And then they stuff it up again. You've got weaponized incompetence. So drag them to therapy and get a therapist to tell them. Get a therapist to tell them, dude, you're doing weaponized incompetence. You're earning more. There's a pay gap. Like, fuck. If you want her to do all the chores, yeah, maybe they should pay pocket money. I wonder if in relationships people could do that. If the man knows he's got like the pay gap and he's earning more, right? He's working more hours because she's at home doing the chores, looking after the kids and stuff too. I wonder if there's relationships where the man's like, right, I hate vacuuming. I hate laundry. I hate cleaning the bathroom. I hate cleaning the toilet. I hate kitchen. I hate doing the dishes. I hate all of these things. If you do them for me, I'll give you pocket money. I wonder if there's situations. You just don't know. I guess there would be. Oh my gosh, it's like nearly half an hour, so I'm going to go. But I wanted to then go on about Sprinkle Sprinkle. I don't know, TikTok, there's a lady called Sprinkle Sprinkle, and she talks about being gold diggers. And that's the thing. When there are women who want to like get men who actually earn good money because of pay gap and because they're men and they'd be able to climb the chain and get lots of money, and they want to be looked after financially by men, men go, you're a gold digger, you're evil, that's horrible. Yet weaponized incompetence is just an everyday thing that's accepted in society. Anyway, leave you with that. So that's it. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop myself. Weaponized incompetence. That's what it is. It's a weapon of fake incompetence. They are full grown adults. They can do all the adult things. They can cook, they can clean, they can do it all. If they haven't been shown by their mum, well, we know they haven't been shown by their mum because their mum would have done everything for them. But there are YouTube videos, there are instructions with white goods, there are a lot of ways of finding out, or they could just ask you, hey, run through that with me one time and then I'll be sweet, you know? And if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, just communicate openly and honestly and see what you get back. Good luck out there. It's a jungle out there. All right, legends. I really, 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 really ask you to stay safe this week and keep your boundaries, love yourself, keep it real, be who you are, warts and all, each and every day. Love your legends. Bye.